Hey everyone, welcome. We are doing the competition winners announcement. We have 5 winners, 1 overall winner who will receive a free course from Blipsounds. And yeah, we're just going to jump right in here, give everybody a round of feedback and kind of analyze what was good and what was bad about all of these sounds. So it should be really valuable feedback, hopefully. And I think everyone will have something to learn from it. So let's take a listen here. So this is by the Walrus, and Walrus, you had a really awesome sound, really well done. Just a few things. Your attention to detail, first off, is on point. Like, I love the fact that you added, like, you can hear these tiny little flake sounds, and that's just like kind of, you can see like the mist is coming out of the crevice or the fissure crevice right here. You can just hear like a little bit of like some crackling, which is perfect. I would have loved to hear a whoosh sound when he jumped. Overall, like, your frequency spectrum is covered pretty well here. One thing that I love that you did that one or two other entrants did is you actually changed the sound. You actually added a sound for when his door turns blue. You see it turns blue in this frame as opposed to this previous frame. And honestly, like, I didn't even think about that, but that's just the kind of attention to detail that all good sound designers really look for. And you added a sound for that. You also added voice. The voice is awesome, like really well done. I don't know if that's your voice or not, but that is. I love the enthusiasm in the voice. It actually turned out really, really well. Overall, I would say that I would like to hear like a little bit more detail in the actual fissure itself. It does sound good. It's just that it doesn't really feel very full to me. That's all really. But yeah, overall, like, the sound is really, really well done. Really, I think what I want to hear is I want to hear some more higher frequency in this part of the sound. The way that this door turns into ice, I think I would have liked to hear like something a little bit more high frequency in this part of the sound as well. But again, overall, really awesome sound, really well done, the Walrus. Yeah, let's move on to the next sound. This is by Nomi. This is, we'll go ahead and play his sound. Sound is pretty good. The one thing that stands out to me, well, there's two things. First off, Nomi also did the same thing that the Walrus did. You can see that his door turned blue, just like with the Walrus. And it's a really nice attention to detail. Again, I just would have liked to hear a whoosh for when he jumps. Oh, actually, there is a whoosh. Yeah, there is a whoosh. I didn't even realize. Wow, it just tricked my brain so much, I guess. I would like to hear a little bit of a louder whoosh, I guess. And you know what else it might be? It might be that the ice, the door turning into ice, that's a little bit abrupt. It's very loud, is what I mean. Like, it's a great idea for a sound. I think it just could have been executed a little bit better. Like, if it was just turned to ice, and if it was like blended in with the whooshes a little bit better, because I kind of feel like my favorite part of the sound here is actually the door turning into ice. And this part of it isn't really as big as the actual door turning into ice. It would have been nice to hear this part be a little bit like, it would have been nice to hear this part be as satisfying as that initial sound. And I think that I would have filled out the frequency spectrum a lot more. But yeah, great. It's a great sound. I would also change your source recording here just a little bit. You have a good base for your source recording during the fissure itself. It just sounds a little bit plasticky. I would actually record some ice sounds somewhere in there. I'm sure that you did a little bit. You had a nice low rumble in there, which was great. I think that just the general frequency spectrum could have been filled out just a tiny bit more is all. Really awesome. And you also did the attention to detail at the end with the little flakes going out of place. So again, great job. Moving on, I believe this is Swash's sound. It's clear that you used ice or some sort of glass shattering, and I love it. your whooshes are really satisfying. Going into your whoosh and the general impact that it makes, really satisfying. That it's just that little like I don't know what to describe it as, but it's super satisfying. And you can hear the sound of the door moving too. All of you guys really focus on this door. I'm really happy about that. And yeah, you also did the attention to detail on the little on the specks of ice detaching. I think that was pretty awesome as well. I think it could have like been a little bit elongated, like a little bit more detail, because you can hear it stops very abruptly. But yeah, sounds really good. I think that it's a little bit too. I can hear the mid range a little bit too much. I would cut that down just a little bit during the glacier, or not the glacier, the fissure being created. But other than that, like really, really great stuff. Again, like your syncing is actually really well done. Like just everything is really in place. And I know that was an issue for you, Swash, in the past, like being able to sync stuff properly. But like this is probably your cleanest sound you've done yet, for sure. It just needs to be a little bit. It just needs to be a little bit more. I think that your mix is just missing a little bit. Like the low mid frequencies are a little bit too prominent. I would add more higher frequencies, and I would add more layers as well. Like if you can layer that same exact sound on top of itself a couple times and then play with your equalizer a little bit, I think that you'd be in really good shape with the sound. And then we have Jail on Discord. Solid sound. Your whoosh is really good. The one that happens when this door is being swung down, really satisfying. I'm just not a huge fan of the sound of the fissure being broken as well. I think it could have just been a lot more. It could have fell out the frequency spectrum a little bit more, and I think the source recording itself just wasn't properly chosen. I think it's a good layer, but on its own, I think it just needs a little bit more layers on top of what you did here. Again, just try to think about any sort of elemental sound design that you're seeing. Like you used some sort of air sound here for your whoosh, but then as the glacial fissure happens, I would use some ice here or something along those lines, and just find a way to make it really crisp and really satisfying. And then also just, I think your syncing could use a little bit more work. You can hear that the sound goes on a little bit longer than it should. Well, actually, yeah. So actually, you did stop the sound right when the animation was stopping on this last little glacier right here, and that works. But when I hear it with the rest of the sound, the actual crevice breaking open has stopped entirely. So I would actually add another layer for the crevice actually breaking open, and then for maybe even add another sound for these ice glaciers going back down into the crevice. Because it sounds good again, but it has like originally I thought that the sound that was happening was because of this big animation happening. And I heard the sound synchronized with it, but then when I saw these glaciers going down, I expected a different sound to happen, and that kind of threw me off a little bit. But yeah, overall, great sound. Just needs a little bit of work on the source recording and some layering, but overall, great work again. And the winner of our competition is Scriptomode. So what I was just talking about in Jail sound is what Scriptomode actually did really well. He added a different sound for when this little glacier goes back in. Listen to this. Really awesome. And they're two very different sounds. Really awesome. It has like a nice rocky texture to it, and he has some metal here. And he adds sounds for every little bit of light coming through as well. Super satisfying. Voice work is really nice as well. I would just turn it down a little bit in the mix. It also sounds very processed, the voice. Not a bad thing. I think that it does work. Just something that it just sounds like it's missing some higher frequencies, which I'm assuming you just added a pitch shifter to your voice or something like that to make this work. Really solid. I just the way that the story of the sound is told is really well done. The way that when you can actually feel like it feels like the whatever glacier was going across here. I'm pointing at my screen like you guys can see my hand. The way that the glacier actually goes through the earth, you actually can feel it stopping against this wall over here. You can hear that last little tink sound of metal hitting the other side. And then on top of that, there is the actual just individual lights coming up. You can hear each little metal impact as it goes along. And then it ends on that last one, and then you can hear the rocks going back into under the earth. I would add a little bit more icy sounds. It's a really full sound, and it's really satisfying to listen to, but it doesn't feel as icy and cold as I would expect. I would definitely try and record some ice sounds and then just put a high-pass filter on it of sorts and layer that in with the rest of your sounds, because I'm expecting to hear something a little bit more crisp, I think. And I think that in terms of like general storytelling and dynamics, your sound is definitely the best. I think that it could just use like a little bit more attention to detail. Again, really awesome though. Like those little flakes, for example, like those little flakes there could use like a little bit more, but that's just me being nitpicky, honestly. The sound is really good. So anyways, congratulations to Scriptum Mode. You win a free course from Blipsounds. I will be contacting you via the Blipsounds Discord channel. Congratulations to all the other winners as well. Great work. Everyone did really great this competition. And if you haven't joined this competition, come to the Blipsounds Discord channel or check the link in the description below. And you can join the competition, see the rules. Just stay tuned for November 1st when we announce the next competition. Just a little hint, it involves Overwatch, and we'll be doing a sound from that. So stay tuned for that excitement. But otherwise, thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next competition. Thanks for watching.